bright and he's sassy. When you're with him, you better leave your cares behind. It's Herbie. He makes you feel that there's a rainbow waiting just around the bend. And if the chips are down, you know he'll help you to the end. And Herbie's my best friend. My best friend. My best friend.
Hello, I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache, and welcome to part 3 of Herbie Month. Today I'm going to take a look at the third Herbie movie, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. So, let's begin. The film is about Herbie yet again entering the Monte Carlo race, but unknown to his driver, Jim Douglas, two thieves hide a diamond in Herbie's gas tank and try to get it back. So what do I think? Well, I'll tell you. Well, I like it. Herbie falls in love with a car named Giselle. No, not that Giselle. That Giselle. And it's rather cute. Don't get me wrong, it's not the greatest romance in the world, but it's rather charming. We see Herbie flirting with Giselle, and in the background we see a waiter making these faces like he can't believe what he's saying. And Herbie is all dirty, and at one point he has eyes. And a few scenes later, Herbie's all cleaned up and gives Giselle some flowers, and he's showing off his horns. And then the bartender, while they're driving away, pours wine on the floor, which kind of reminds me of the scene from the Aristocats, and where the guy sees the alley cats with a mouse, and then he pours wine on the ground. There's a scene in where the thieves hold our heroes at gunpoint, and that leads to a chase scene that goes through the forest, and then they crash into a bunch of baskets, and they go through this camp with the diamond thieves on hot pursuit, and then they crash into the same baskets that our heroes crashed through. And then they go through the same camp and knock a tent over with a gypsy fortune teller and telling a gypsy his fortune. And then Herbie lands on a table, knocking a roasted pig, causing it to fly in the air, causing it to land in the villain's car. And then Herbie drives through what looks like a sewer tunnel, and then the bad guys try to drive through it, and it ends up crashing their car. And then we get the image of the fat thief with an apple in his mouth. We also get a hilariously bad fight scene between Jim Douglas and Willie and the Diamond Thieves. First there is Willie, who is really funny and really competent as a mechanic. Not so much when it comes to women. There's a scene where Willie yodels so loud it causes an echo, which in itself causes an avalanche to happen. although knowing how to cause an avalanche helps them out later when they're trapped by the thieves. He is played by Don Knotts, who, if you've seen my incredible Mr. Limpet review, you would also know that he played Barney on the Andy Griffin Show.
Nothing to worry about. No sense getting in a panic. Just stay calm and cool. There he goes!
And then there's Diane, who has a lot of spirit and spunk to her, especially compared to the previous two love interests. She's also a really independent woman, and boy, do her and Jim really get off on the wrong foot. As there is a scene in where Jim accuses her of hiring thugs to knock him and Wheelie out of the race. And boy, does a fight ensue as she is throwing stuff at him. Well, at least everything that isn't nailed down. But later they learn to trust each other, and they both have a really good relationship. And then there are the Diamond Thieves, who are not really that subtle. They're about as subtle as...
Oh, because you, my friend, are about as subtle as a walrus.
Played by Roy Kinnear, who you might know as Veruca's dad from Willy Wonka.
What business you in, Saul? Nuts.
The other one is played by Bernard Fox, who is probably best remembered for playing Dr. Bombay on Bewitched.
Paging Dr. Bombay! Paging Dr. Bombay! Emergency! Come right away!
And then there's the inspector, who's, surprise, surprise, he's a surprise villain and is working with the thieves. And then there's his assistant, the detective, who I swear looks like the descendant of Borat. The film was directed by Vincent McKevitt, who also directed The $1 Million Duck, as well as Charlie and the Angel, The Strongest Man in the World, starring Kurt Russell, Gus, as well as The Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again, and the fourth Herbie film, Herbie Goes Bananas. Well, that's all I could say about Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. Well, tune in next time as I take a look at the weakest of the Herbie films, Herbie Goes Bananas. But until then, I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache, signing off. I give this film 5 stars. Like and subscribe to the channel and ring bell for future uploads. If you like to make a movie request on this channel, do so in the comment section below. And feel free to check out my other shows, Modern Classics, TV Treasures, and Geek Reviews. And check out my editorials. Check me out on Vimeo.